welcome to Ground Game with your Cabarrus County Republican Party. As always, I am Abdul Ali, and for my man G to the Mills behind the camera, we want to thank everybody for checking out Ground Game. If you haven't done so, go check out our previous episodes. They are available here on our Facebook page. If you do not receive the Cabarrus County Republican Party newsletter every month, you need to go to cabarrus.gop, sign up so you can stay in the know. Today we are going to be joined with James Bailey, who is in charge of precinct organization for your Cabarrus County Republican Party. We're going to talk about poll workers, we're going to talk a little bit of politics, and we're also going to let you know how you can get involved. So we'll be right back after your Cabarrus County calendar. Here is your Cabarrus County calendar. Do remember, early voting started on October 15th and is going right on through October the 31st. We have a day of action for Trump victory on Saturday, October the 17th. Your Kannapolis City Council will meet Monday at 6 p.m. on October 19th. As well, your Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners will meet Monday the 19th at 6:30 p.m. Join us at 96 McGill Avenue, your Republican Party headquarters, on Thursday, October 22nd for the final presidential debate. And do remember, Election Day is November 3rd. This is your Cabarrus County calendar. Welcome back to Ground Game. As always, I am Abdul Ali, and as promised, we are here with Brother James Bailey from your Cabarrus County Republican Party Executive Committee. James, welcome to Ground Game.
Thank you. I've seen these on Facebook, and I was excited when you offered me a chance to come and speak.
Well, glad to have you here, brother. So you are in charge of precinct organization and development for our Executive Committee. First thing we need to talk about is we need poll workers.
Absolutely. The poll workers are the face of our county party. They're a face for many of our local candidates. And it's very important to have someone out there at each of the polling places as the election starts on Thursday.
So we're going to have poll workers with our handy dandy yellow sheet. If you don't mind, tell the folks a little bit about what we want our poll workers to be out there doing and what that entails.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, we need you. We need volunteers to be out there. We need you to be smiling, happy, eager to promote our conservative candidates. We want you to make sure you're safe, so we encourage you to wear a mask when you're out there. And you, of course, if you can maintain social distancing, then it's not necessarily a requirement, but I would make sure I had one when I came out. But we really need you there to support our local candidates, our state candidates, and of course the president and his ticket as well.
So we talked about this a little bit offline about how important these down ballot races are. We all know we're supporting President Trump. We all know we're supporting Dan Forrest. But down ballot, especially our state house, and we talked a little bit offline about the Supreme Court, our state courts. How important is it that folks flip that ballot around and finish that ballot out to support our down ballot races?
Yeah, exactly. We all know about Donald Trump, President Trump. We all know, for the most part, our federal elections. We know who those candidates are, and even if you get down to governor, obviously there's a lot of buzz about Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest's campaign for governor. But a lot of times when we get a ballot and we're looking at it, we may not always know who those judicial candidates specifically are. We may not know exactly what their ideas are. We may not have had a chance to really vet them. So what the party has done is actually, and you see these every election cycle, we print off these yellow cards. These yellow cards are folks that are on the ballot, down ballot. And what we mean by down ballot is they're down below, obviously, the president and the governor. So you may not always see them on the front of the ballot. At the very top, you'll see them down mixed in the middle and at the bottom of the ballot. We want to make sure that those candidates are known to you, make sure that you know they've been vetted. So we've made these copies for you to hand out to each of those people that are coming in to vote. These folks have been vetted by the county GOP party. We know they're conservative. We know they're going to be able to promote those ideals, which we think represents the majority of Cabarrus County.
So one of the things we talked about offline was about judges and the importance of conservative judges and what that means to us here in North Carolina. And I thought you had a great take on that. In so much as the folks that we need on our bench to not legislate from the bench.
Right now we have the Supreme Court confirmation hearings going on with Amy Coney Barrett. We also have a state Supreme Court. We also have a state Court of Appeals. those are just as important, if not more, than our U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court hears roughly 1 to 3% of the cases that they're presented each and every year. Our North Carolina State Supreme Court, our North Carolina Court of Appeals, they hear a lot more cases than our U.S. Supreme Court. Their rulings obviously affect us from a state level. So yes, it is very important that we have judges on the bench that do not legislate from the bench. We have a legislature, let's let them legislate. We have a judicial branch that they can render those judicial rulings. They do not need to be legislating from the bench. Why? It's very important to follow this guide. Those poll workers are key to getting these guides in those folks' hands that are coming to vote on Election Day.
And we've said it here. We actually had Sarah NEWBY on a few episodes back. Make sure you go back and check that episode out. But the importance is we need Paul NEWBY as Chief Justice. We need him to have wingmen on our state Supreme Court. Right now, we have the most liberal state Supreme Court in the country, and there's no balance there. I think balance is definitely needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Balance is needed. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think you alluded to it, he is the only conservative judge we have on the North Carolina State Supreme Court. And again, as you go up in levels of the Court of Appeals hears more cases than the State Supreme Court. So those Court of Appeals judges, it says Supreme Court, and it's great. We need to get conservatives on the State Supreme Court. But those Court of Appeal judges are crucial in making sure, again, that we stop the legislation from the bench, making sure that our state constitution and our laws are interpreted fairly and equally for everyone, not slanted towards one ideology or the other.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, one of the other things we talked about in needing poll workers, and something that I think is important is with COVID, people aren't, as wanting to have interactions, but you talked before about having conversation with folks as poll workers, and for folks that want to volunteer, give them a little guidelines of what we're actually looking to have them do.
Well, first off, we want you to be smiling. We want you to be friendly. We ask that you attempt to give this to each and every voter that comes to the polling place. However, if they don't want to take the yellow card, perfectly fine. We want you to be smart, be safe, don't impose your will on anyone. Don't impose a yellow guide on anyone. Again, try to maintain social distancing. We've got a lot of kind of safety protocols in place to make sure that you're safe, but we want you to be nice. We want you to be respectful of other people's wishes. Of course, we've all been bombarded, flyers in the mail, text messages, emails. So a lot of people may not necessarily want to take one of these from you, and that's perfectly fine. We don't want you to get in any kind of a confrontation with anyone. So again, just be nice. That's the main thing.
Well, one other thing, and we talk about COVID, we're going to have a contactless way of getting this voter guide.
Glad you mentioned that. Yes. So as you approach your polling place, you will see a board that is going to be either held up. It should be on a table, but you're going to see a board that has this ballot on it. Also, it's going to be affixed to that board, but we're also going to have a QR code. Now, if you've seen some restaurants, now they've got the menus on QR codes. So before you come to your polling place, if you have any concerns at all about COVID, if you'll download a QR scanner on your phone, you can get it on the App Store completely free. Download that app. As you come up to the polling place, you can simply scan that code. It will give you this yellow card on your phone. Now, very important to understand, you cannot be on the phone when you enter the polling place. So make sure that you remind them, if you see them take that QR code, that they turn their phones on airplane mode and they can still access that QR code. Pull up this yellow flyer. Make sure you have it with you when you go into the polling place.
So, ladies and gentlemen, sounds like to me we've made every attempt to make voting safe, to make it fun for you guys, as fun as voting could be anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
But we definitely need you to go to cabarrus.gop, come on board with us, become a poll worker so that we can help get the word out about Republican candidates in the district. One other thing before we close out this segment, how important to you is it that folks get out and actually participate and vote?
Of course, being on the executive committee, people know that you're on it, particularly your close friends and family. And oftentimes you'll hear your family members, they'll be complaining to you about the direction of the country or the direction of the state. My response to them is, have you voted? Do you vote? Make sure you vote. Folks, this is one of the most critical elections that we have. The future of the nation's at stake. at stake. The future of the state is at stake. And quite honestly, we need this. And you hear it every year. It almost becomes cliche, but this is an extremely important election. We need everyone, regardless of how you think the election is going to turn out, to vote. Don't listen to the polls. Don't listen to the news broadcasts. Just take it from us. It is very important for you to vote. And of course, as voters come to the polls, we need our poll workers out there to make sure we're engaging with them. Let them see that we're being respectful. Make sure that they see each voter coming up, that we're smiling, that we're happy to be there, that we support our candidates. And I think just seeing us smiling, the poll workers smiling, that they're energetic, I think it can make a difference in those undecided voters, and maybe those ones that are kind of on the fence and about down ballot issues, about the president. Just seeing that, hey, Donald Trump supporters smiling, they're respectful, they dress nice, they look like they're excited about their candidate. One vote can make all the difference in the world.
You heard it from James Bailey, member of your Cabarrus County Republican Party Executive Committee. We'll be right back on Ground Game.
Hello, Cabarrus County GOP. My name is Sarah NEWBY, and I'm the Director of Judicial Elections for the North Carolina Republican Party. I am here to tell you why we need Republican judges on our state's highest courts. Do you remember when the people of North Carolina wanted voter ID and a judge, an activist judge, said no, and that was final? We need to elect our conservative judges that believe in the will of law and believe in the people's rights and believe in applying the Constitution as it was intended. These 8 judges on this card I have right here believe in all of that, believe that the people's rights matter. Let me tell you, judges' experience matters. Please consider voting for these 8 judges on November 3rd. If you would like information on them, you can stop by the Cabarrus County GOP office, and they will have these cards here and a lot more information on our judges. Thanks so much.
There's a judge they call Paul NEWBY. He's got criminals on the run. Paul Steely stares, got them running scared, and he'll take them down one by one. Paul NEWBY, he's a tough old judge, respected everywhere. He's heard the call to lay down the law to bring justice tough but fair. Paul NEWBY, justice tough but fair. Paul NEWBY, criminals best beware. A federal prosecutor for 20 years, bringing justice tough but fair. So walk the line or you'll do hard time. Criminals best beware.
Welcome back to Ground Game, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank James Bailey for coming in to talk with us about precinct development and the need for poll workers and kick it a little bit about politics. And do remember how important it is for you to flip that ballot around and complete that ballot. We've got that handy dandy yellow sheet for you in case you or a family member needs to know who are your endorsed Republican candidates. Also, remember, while supplies last, if you're a poll worker, you get one of these red, beautiful Cabarrus County GOP t-shirts. And yes, while supplies last, you can get one. So go to cabarrus.gop, sign up to be a poll worker. We need you. Cabarrus County needs you. North Carolina needs you. And your country needs you. For my man G Mills behind the camera and your entire executive committee, I'm Abdul Ali. This is Ground Game. We'll check you next time.